On our way to Ponta Delgada today, São Miguel, different island. Big smile on my face because if you can hear, there's actually wind, which means that we may be able to sail the whole way. There's going to be just a little bit that we're going to probably have to motor when we get back or when we get to the island for the last little bit. It's going to be an overnight. Right now it's around 11 o'clock. We should be arriving around 9 or 10 tomorrow morning. So we plan this out. It's 100 miles roughly type of thing, and so we'll take our time, but we'll actually be able to sail. So it's going to be so wonderful now. Finally getting that feel again. It's been a long time. Everything we've been doing is pretty much motor sailing or extremely light wind, just ghosting along. This will be actual 15 knots, maybe 20. Be able to get the sails up. Excited.
Right.
So let's go.
Let's do it. Well, the winds have been a little bit sporadic as we're heading out of Angra here. Sometimes they'll fill in really nicely, sometimes they'll kind of change direction, die out. But we are still in the lee of the island, and we knew it was going to be a little difficult just getting out of here. But in just a few more miles, we should have nothing blocking us from the wind, so it should pick up. Right now we've got all sails out, and we're just coasting out of here around 3.5, 4 knots. And it's a beautiful clear day out right behind me. Probably won't be able to make it out, but you can see both São Jorge and Pico in the distance. So we get to say goodbye to 3 islands at once as we head towards São Miguel. Probably be there just before lunch tomorrow. And last time we came in, we had this huge pod of saddleback dolphins like ride with us for an hour. So fingers crossed that that happens again when we get in tomorrow. Right now I'm checking in with the 3-hour status report, and we did have to bring the staysail in, but right now we're flying with full main and full head sail, and the wind is a little bit more on our nose than we expected it to be, so we're kind of pinching right now. So unfortunately it's not quite on the beam like we thought it was going to be with the forecast when we were leaving, but we're still doing right around 5 knots. Sea state is fairly low. We were actually kind of pounding a bit harder just as we were leaving the island, but now that we're a few miles out from it, it's calmed down a little bit, so hopefully the rest of the ride is calm because we're still sleeping in the forward salon, which doesn't make for the most comfortable night's sleep when you're bouncing up and down up there. But yeah, right now we're pointed right at São Miguel, and hopefully we will still be within sight of it when the sun rises tomorrow.
Going well. Good winds, doing about 5.2, 5.3, right around there, averaging. Bigger waves than we anticipated. Apparently there's some kind of storm system maybe to the north of us that has brought waves with it, because around us there's been a high pressure system. There's been like no wind at all for the past couple of days, so there shouldn't be really these waves unless they're coming from somewhere else. So these are an import from maybe around like the UK or something like that, because they are.
Thanks, UK.
Thanks, UK. I don't think it was.
No.
Probably more Greenland. Thanks, Greenland.
But still not a bad ride.
No. Still not a bad ride at all. There's only about one time that splashed into the cockpit. Other than that, it's been very nice and dry. Temperature's all right.
And our Dodger's still holding up awesomely.
Dodger is phenomenal for half attempt for a temporary type thing. It's actually doing extremely well and giving us a lot of good ideas of what we're going to do when we actually finally finish it. If we finally finish it, because it is pretty good right now. Yeah, that's about it. About to have lasagna for dinner. Something that we bought as a pre-made thing from one of the stores, grocery stores here. But yeah, that's our evening. My shift is coming up in just a little bit. In 40 minutes is my shift for 4 hours. Then Jess will come on. I'll probably read a little bit. Cat is knocked out, sleeping as always. That's pretty much the extent of it. No boats, nothing around here, nothing on AIS. So no whales yet.
No whales. Are they?
Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of it. But yeah, beautiful day for sailing.
Looks like there's rain ahead of us.
So right now we're doing about 5'2", somewhere around there. We got great wind. We should be able to do considerably more, actually closer to hull speed right now. But I have a reef in it, and I don't have the staysail out because we're trying to slow down. Our big thing is we don't want to arrive there in dark. We do not enter harbors in the dark, period. Regardless of how well they're lit and so on, it just creates all kinds of problems, so we prefer to stay out. So we're just timing it, slowing ourselves down, so we should arrive right around daylight. So that's the plan.
p.m. time for me to hit the hay, which is actually kind of nice that the sun's setting, because the last time we did an overnight it was still really bright out when I tried to lay down. So far we have made about 37 miles from Terceria, and we have 51 miles to go till Ponta Delgada, but I think only like 40 or 45 till we reach the western edge of São Miguel. So actually I think when I wake up at 4 a.m. I will be able to see lights from shore, so that will be fun. But yeah, hopefully the swells aren't so bad that I'll be bouncing around while I sleep, but yeah, otherwise it's just a comfortable trip. Lasagna was not bad for a heat and go meal, and that's about all I got right now, so I will check in with you again sometime between 12 and 4. Well, my shift is just coming to an end right now. It's just coming on 4 o'clock in the morning, and at the moment we're about 7 miles off the shores of São Miguel and have 13 miles to go to the harbor entrance of Ponta Delgada. And my shift was really nice. The first hour was actually pretty busy with boat traffic. I had, I think, like 3 fishing vessels and 1 tanker going by. And then after that it kind of slowed down, but we were keeping good speed at 5.5 to 6 knots. And I don't know if you can hear in the background now, we've just come in the lee of São Miguel and pretty much have lost all of our wind. So these sails are starting to flog, but we had needed to slow ourselves down anyway because we still have about 3 hours until sunrise. So I don't know if Matt will just go down to the mainsail and we'll just kind of like drift in, or if he'll eventually turn on the engine and we'll just kind of slowly make our way there. But so far the sail has been good. The lights offshore look beautiful. Georgie's just decided to join me out here. But I'm gonna go wake Matt up now so I can get some more rest, and when I wake up again, it means that the sun is probably coming up and we'll be ready to get into the harbor. So we are now sitting at the marina at Ponta Delgada, and who docked this boat awesomely twice today? This girl. Apparently we still have a problem with the reception dock here, not quite knowing how to get around the gates, and so we always just take a random slip. Last time it worked out, this time we did have to move. But beautiful sunny day here. We're just freshly showered, if you can't tell. Feels nice to take a hot shower again. I got a little nap in because, of course, we're still pretty tired after an overnight. For some reason, those one-nighters just take it out of you. And, I don't know. I think we might go have a beer right now, but it's kind of cool because as soon as we stepped basically off the docks to go to our showers today, we ran into one of our YouTube followers, Dennis, and it was unfortunate that he's basically on his way to the airport right now to fly to Lisbon. So we couldn't sit and have a beer with him, but we chatted for a little bit, and he gave us the inside intel of some places that we definitely need to check out while we're here. We've had a lot of good tips on things to do on this island, so we're very excited to be here and do some exploring now. If there's one thing I'm learning about us lately, it is that we are quite bad at setting alarms, relying on internal clocks. Going to tour the island today, and we've got about 10 minutes to run to the bus, buy tickets, and catch it. We have made it to the bus with 5 minutes to spare, thankfully, and it looks like the first stop of the day is going to be a casino, which we don't really have the interest in. We want to see more of the natural parts of the island. So the next stop is town, and we'll probably get off there for an hour, wander around a little bit, have some brunch, get a little bit of coffee inside ourselves, and then I believe it is off to like the furnace or the natural volcanic hot springs, and I think that is where a good portion of our day is going to be spent. So, about to board the bus now, very excited. Off the bus, and I was going to ask you what we're going to do, but I don't think we can talk right now. No. So we're going to wander for a little bit, grab some food, hop back on the bus, but very cute town from what we can see so far.
It's incredible. Yeah, what an absolutely amazing thing.
It's all light.
I know, I so wish we could see this at night.
So the next stop the bus has dropped us off at is a national park, and it also has the hot springs, and just stepping inside here right now, the smells, like the birds, you can hear just water falling everywhere, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But we did find out that our tickets only last for 2 hours, so we're gonna have to squeeze a lot of enjoyment in here before we get kicked out. It's one of those sites where they only allow 250 people in at a time to, I think, like just preserve the tranquility and the beauty so that it doesn't get overcrowded. but we're gonna do some walking, we're gonna do some swimming. They said that the pools get to about 35 degrees centigrade, so it'll be like a nice warm dip. What do you think, Matt?
Beautiful. Absolutely just pristine beauty. As Jeff was saying, the smells and the sounds and just the feel of it. You can feel the moisture in the air from all the trees and humidity here. It's beautiful. Colder, we're up a little bit higher now, so it is a good comfortable temperature, but the humidity is still pretty high. Waiting for a cloud to envelop us right now.
Yeah. Everything is so green. I love it. All right, let's keep going. Starting at the furthest pool back in the complex, the water was much cooler and more reminiscent of a pool than a hot spring. Even though this place did not seem like where you want to relieve achy muscles, we enjoyed the falling water and the lush green landscapes. On our way to the next group of pools, we did find out where the boiling water emerged from the earth. Eventually we found the pools where the warmer water was leading, which still need to be cooled down by adding fresh and cold spring water to the mix.
We feel all regenerized now. The thermal springs brought back the youth that we were missing. Just kidding. We sat in there for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes type of thing. Progressively, it actually, I think, got warmer further you got down. Fairly sulfury smelling, and so now it's good. They actually had showers so you can clean off type of thing, but beyond that, beautiful spot. We're going to try finding some hiking trails now. So far, just a beautiful trip.
We have just hiked down some very steep grades, but we've been dropped off of pavement. We're on a dirt trail in the middle of nature, and I think I hear water surrounding me, so probably getting close. But I can tell just by this trail and by the sounds around me that this little detour is going to be well worth the trip.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely beautiful water. Doesn't smell like sulfur. That's a plus. Yeah, just beautiful seeing this again.
Absolutely stunning. But because our main goal on this spot was to visit the waterfall, and we had just hiked about 3 kilometers from the hot springs to get here, we couldn't stay in any one spot for too long. Quite the popular place it turns out, but this is just stunning. We kept seeing photos of waterfalls in the Azores, and it seems like every island we had been to before we couldn't really find them, or we just decided on other locations instead when we had chances to drive around. But that amazing. And I think that there's a bridge at the top. I don't know how much time we have to spend here before needing to get back and catching the yellow bus again. But if we can, maybe we'll hike to the top and get the bird's eye view looking down. But down here, the water is cool, it's clear, it's refreshing. And now we're getting to the really tough part. 350 meters straight up to the top. And now we step onto the gated pipe for the spectacular views. Oh my gosh, my sandals are like falling into the grates. And there's no protection on this side. Not many countries this would still fly in. Wow. This part is not really for the faint of heart or those who don't like heights, because you're literally walking across a pipe that has a grate over it and a handlebar on each side, but that is all that's separating you from a very long fall. It just keeps going back, doesn't it?
This is where we should fly the drone.
Yeah. Lots of overhanging brush though. Could be dangerous for the drone. Wish we could spend more time in this beautiful spot. It looks like the hike continues for quite a ways and you would see a lot more amazing things. But again, the time frame. So we're gonna go back and catch our bus. And now we know if we want to rent a car ourselves later this week, some of the hot spots we might want to come back to and explore a little bit further. Morning 2. Once again, we're gonna hop on the yellow bus at its 9:30 departure from the fort here in Ponta Delgada, and we're actually on time for once. Yes. And prepared. We've got sandwiches, got all of our cameras, we've got everything for once, and sneakers because I started getting a little blistered yesterday in my sandals. But our first big 2 stops of the day are different sets of lakes. But it's like one's emerald green and the other is bright blue, so they're a very popular spot. And there's like a nice town with a big church there, so I think we're gonna get a lot of good things in again today. Very pretty. Everything's so green. I can now tell why they call this Green Island. First stop of the day dropped off at Lago do Canario, or Canary Lake, and we thought we had seen in a specific brochure that there's like this walkout, an elevated one. So we're not sure if that lookout is here or not, but there's just these roads and everything is so green and so pretty. So this is going to be just a 1-hour stop for us, but we're going to just kind of keep wandering these gorgeous green roads and see where they lead us. Look out. I think we're on the right trail. Now I found the real lookout. This is just too cool.
It's definitely why I love cruising. Just finding these like majestic places like this.
That feel like they shouldn't even exist. They should just be in fairy tales. We're taking a new way back to the bus, and it looks like a washed out path. A little slippery, but very cool. Not the normal type trail that you normally walk down.
Well, it was. It was a normal trail.
Until it got flooded.
Until it got flooded.
And washed out.
We are not blazing a new trail.
The town we're in now is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time during our second day of the yellow bus tour. It's stop number 4, and the name of the town is Set Cidades, which roughly translates to 7 cities. I'm not quite sure if that's because of, like, I think there's 7 lakes around here, like Lago Azul, Lago Canario, which we were just at, and a few other ones. But behind me is the iconic church, which you would probably see in lots of postcards. And so we just had a nice lunch with some burgers and fries, and we're going to tour a bit. I think there are some hiking trails by the water, but it's so cool because we're sitting at the bottom of a volcanic crater right now, and there's these huge lush green hills that like lead down to these beautiful lakes. So it is such a picturesque spot that we could easily spend all day here, but we're gonna just kind of like walk around and see what we can find. Hey, you're cute.
There's the prettiest thing around. The best view.
So we're just sitting at the edge of the water right now, and it is such a peaceful and tranquil spot.
So we're never gonna leave. This is it. It's the last episode.
Yep. I was gonna say we're selling everything, but we don't really have much left to sell anyway. Kind of already did that step. But yeah, we're just kind of sitting here. Wish we had a nice little bottle of wine, but we're looking out at the kayakers and the small boats on the water and getting jealous already of their time out on the water.
Yeah, I wish I had a Hobie cat right here.
I was just gonna show you, I think I can see where we just came from on the last spot, the lookout over here. So if we're both right, and I think we are, I think the lookout was like right this little mound back there. There's a nice cute little town right there too. So peaceful, pretty. And just sitting at the bottom of a crater. Like we're literally in a volcano right now. That's pretty cool. Our last stop for the day was an abandoned hotel that our tour recommended as giving the best views of Setsidaj and the Twin Lakes.
So we found a bombed out building. It was actually built during the 80s. They kind of had like a tourist boom at that time, built some beautiful hotels here. Unfortunately, they went bust. We don't know when it actually happened, but this place has been stripped out. Still concrete construction, still in great shape, so okay to climb. And the view is absolutely amazing sitting from here. Now we've had some good views in some of the other places as well, but this is just something about it, the way it's framed here with the trees and looking down both lakes. You can see the color change between the two. Amazing, separated by this little bridge. Water still flows through, but there is a definite color difference between the two different waters, which is what this area is really famous for. But it's stunning, absolutely stunning. So come here, come to this place too.
If you can choose one spot to come outside of Ponta Delgada, Setsidaj and the lakes is it.
Yes. Basically all the Azores.
Yeah, welcome to all. Come to spend like years here.
Yeah, just whatever vacation you have, add it all up and burn it all on this vacation. Come to the Azores and spend a ton of time. Jessica breaking the law.